Leah Drace, Thomas the Colonel Chapman, and of course yours truly, James Lemoton. And today is our anniversary show. And we're gonna be talking about the past year we had we have about 54 videos out there on our YouTube channel. And these are videos we've had throughout the year. And we were discussing before we came on the air last year this time, we started this format of Portsmouth Coffee Talk on December the 14th. So it's almost exactly a year from the day we started this new format. And let me say, good morning, host. How are you?
Good morning, James. Good morning, Colonel.
Yes, good morning to the both of you. Top of the morning. Yes.
How indeed time flies. It's been a year since we launched this, and you remember we started out, we were dressing a certain way, and then somewhere along the way we got our T-shirts and coffee cups.
Yes, yes.
To sort of solidify our brand and let people know that we out there when we're on these airways. And I'll start off before we get our discussion, say our first video, which was, like I said, on December the 14th, started out with our guests were from the Portsmouth Health Department, Dr. Lauren James Vaughn and Avante Allen Benton were here. And appropriately, we talked about COVID, the situation, especially in the city of Portsmouth. And we talked about it all around, but they were here specifically to give us a report on how we were doing. I think we were just starting the vaccinations then.
Yes.
So they came on and let us know where we were as far in the city. And I think at the time too, it was kind of the beginning of the vaccinations. People were going different places, wherever they said vaccinations, they were going to different cities and getting vaccinated, the people that were serious about it. But it took a while for people to sort of catch on. And there was a lot of people that say, I'm doing my own studies and I'm not sure about this based on historical things that had happened with vaccination, especially in the African-American or Black people back in the day. And a lot of people were leery about taking this. And all this was new, but it was something that had to come quickly because people were dying at an alarming rate.
Exactly.
So that show kicked off our show of shows. And I think it was very timely at the time. And what's amazing, here we are a year later, and it was a year before that, a year later, still dealing with different variants of the COVID.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what, Slim, you are so correct. When we started this show, we were in the midst of a dual national emergency. One, we had COVID, and we had a dictator as president that really didn't know how to roll out the vaccines and to put out all the misinformation out there that still affects us to today. And then we was trying to figure out, because of January 6th, when they had the active coup, tried to overthrow the government, which is still ongoing. And then we rolled out our show and as you look at through the trajectory of our shows, we have hit a lot of different topics. And you talked about the variants, though. We hit a milestone just this week. 800,000 people have died. 800,000 people. Monumental. And if you look at that, do the math, 75% of those folks didn't have to die. They did not have to die if they would have just taken the vaccine.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so they have sacrificed themselves, and I say sacrifice themselves in the good for the Republican Party. And and suffering from the misinformation emanating from Fox News and at the time state-run TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Colonel, it's amazing. You gave those figures, and it's amazing. And we were talking about this earlier too before we went on air. How many people are still not trusting the vaccination? And if you look at the time between, I think 2019, before we really had the availability of the vaccine, when most of those people that you mentioned died, I think it was in 2019, it was up to like 500,000 or something like that,
Yeah.
near that.
Mhm.
And compared to last year, I guess, you know, it wasn't that many, even though people were still dying because they didn't trust it. But that was proof, as far as I'm concerned, as the vaccine, you know, working. If we didn't have it, it probably would have been 500,000 in 2019, another 500,000 or more in 2020. But, you know, it still was too many to die, but it wasn't as many as 2019.
Right, right.
Right. Well, you know, when you talk about the deaths, you know, we're still having 1,200 people die
Yeah.
a day across this country. And 99.9% of them are dying because they are unvaccinated. So those for the people that are still doing their research.
They're taking mouthwash now. Mouthwash works now.
Yeah, just turn on your Google machine and look at it. And the Google machine or Amazon, what's that? Alexa will tell you, take the shot if you want to survive. But that 99.9, the majority of those deaths are happening in areas that or counties that Trump won. It tells you how politicized it is. And you won't see him or any of his leaders come out and says, take the shot to survive. So we still have a Jim Jones cult.
Oh, yes,
And,
yes.
and for those who don't know Jim Jones, turn on that Google machine and Google Jim Jones. You are the followers of that.
And they're showing now the hospitalizations right now are up 20%. So we're moving in the wrong direction, which is the sad thing. And the more that we come indoors and using our heat and all of those other devices, we're going to see an even greater increase in the number of individuals with COVID.
Well, they told us, the scientists have told us during the winter months, as Leah says, we will come inside. And then so those that are unvaccinated, they will come inside, and because it's cold, we'll be in closer areas. We have the holidays and the numbers will go up, just like the numbers to the flu. So this is expected. They told us this, but for those who haven't done their research, or no, let me rephrase it. They're doing their research. They're getting exactly what their research paper has told them is going to happen.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I think one of the, in the beginning of all this, one of the things that came out that it was a lot of mixed messages from credible sources, you know, like the CDC and the national and international health organizations. And a lot of people were confused. Is this right? And you had Dr. Fauci. And
yes.
Then you had, of course, our president at the time stepping in like he was some sort of medical authority and pushing the experts to the back. So the messaging was mixed up, but we've gotten to the point now where the message is clear to a point. And I guess out of frustration, people being locked down for so long and couples having to look at each other longer than some of them might want to. But unexpectedly, they didn't know looking at each other for 24 hours would be a strain on it. But you can see why people got cabin fever and wanted to go out, you know, out and do things. And we got to the point where we could do that, but you still had to be safe. And it's disconcerting to me now to walk out and still see people acting like it's completely gone. And I know they're sitting down and watching the news like we are.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing the figures like Leah, you mentioned hospitalization is going up. And we don't want to get back to that point where people that need, you know how bad that got, people that really needed hospitalization couldn't get in there because
Couldn't get
COVID.
in. That's right. That's
Taking up
right.
all the bed space.
But,
So,
but Slim, you had a great point here. But before we go any further, we made to put the disclaimer out that the views,
that's like
yes, the views
all of us
expressed
might say
today,
something today.
yes, I know. The views expressed today are theirs of the host and not of the radio station. So we need to get that clear. So
Yes.
So, but one caveat that I will say what you said is you're talking about the rise in cases. It's almost as if, and the data will show, it's almost as if there's a certain party that wants the virus to succeed because they have been, since the election, have been anti-American and anti-democratic democracy since then. And that's the quickest way to, well, one of the ways we can slow down the Biden administration is to not adhere to these vaccine mandates or mask mandates, because they've gone to the courts to stop him for the, rather than going to the courts and stopping other things, they want to stop or start people so help them on to die. And it's not me saying that. You can just look at the state-run TV and look what's happening around us.
It's always been unfortunate how politicized you're getting behind a health crisis.
Exactly.
And, it's strange. And Leah, here in the city of Portsmouth, I think most municipalities, local municipalities, have been pretty good about trying to get the information out.
Exactly.
And things like that. And with you working with DARE, the DARE program, and when the schools open back up, do you see how the protocol with the schools, do you see them really following measures of safety for our children?
They're definitely following protocol, and we're not going into the schools right now because of the COVID situation. So all the activities that we're participating in at the schools are all outdoor activities. And I noticed that the few times I have gone up to the schools, there's a protocol of when you go into the school and how many people can go into a school at a certain period of time. So I think that they are adhering to the protocol that's been established here in the city. So you do see a definite change. And I don't think that the desks are distanced as they would like for them to be, but the space is not there in the schools. So, but I think they're handling it very well because we're hearing a few COVID cases within the school setting. So that's a good thing right there. And I think now that the children can be vaccinated, that will make a difference as well when the winter months, when we move into these colder months. Prayerfully, the parents are getting the children vaccinated and they will be protected during that period when we may see that surge take place once it gets colder. Now, I do see that the governor of New York has mandated masks indoors now. Any indoor facility that you go into in New York now, you have to wear a mask. And that's followed up by $1,000 fine per incident that you violate. So she's on a move to make sure that she keeps the New York community safe. And I guess where we see some other mandates, people are fighting against mandates, but without the mandates, James, as you said earlier, you see people walking the streets and acting just like COVID never happened. So we have to see what's going to happen come the colder months of this year.
It's going to be an ongoing thing, and here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, we're going to be covering that. But we mentioned the schools, so that's a good segue into what we did last year. We when we came into January with our new format, our focus was on crime. So we dedicated the whole January to crime in the city of Portsmouth, and which mirrored what was going on throughout the country, you know, the rise of crime, especially with our younger people. And so we had a series of people on, Commonwealth Attorney, the sheriff. We tried to get the police chief, but it wasn't a police chief yet. So we had some problems there, but we had the sheriff department who's working with the police. We had the Commonwealth Attorney, and we brought in somebody from clergy with Reverend Dr.
Marilyn.
Stephanie Morales from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. And who else did we have? But anyway, we had dedicated that whole month, but to trying to get to the root of the problem. We also had someone from social service. I think we had Dr. Bruce Copeland talking about, you know, the family and crime, things like that. So we tried to bring on people in different areas to figure out, you know, what we needed to do to sort of try to curtail or even stop this violence that's going on. But here we are a year later, and we're still getting the reports. We had a little break for a while, and then all of a sudden it was like a daily occurrence where people were getting shot, and a teenager was killed a few days ago, or died in the hospital after being shot. So what do you think we need to do? Where we need to go from here?
And the thing is, James, you're seeing more women and girls shot now.
Yes,
I mean, it's just, there used to be a thing where you protected your women, you protected your girls, but that's not taking place now. And then last night they had the guys, I guess it was in Hampton area, who broke into the gun shop and stole all those guns and rifles. Now, you know, all of that's going to filter down into these communities.
Yeah.
So they're breaking into cars. You know, if you have guns in your cars, lock your doors, put your guns in a lock box. But these kids are out to get these weapons, and it seems to be that they're about the number of bodies that they can count. That's given their notches on their belts, based upon the number of individuals they have taken out of here. So it's sad. It's sad where we are now.
Yeah. Well, you know, since this is our 1-year anniversary, and I'm gonna segue into that for those who are out there listening to this at our 1-year anniversary. If you want us to continue, and I say, if you want us to continue to deliver the real news to you and information to you, we need your help to carry on. And so you can send a honorarium to Portsmouth Coffee Talk, P.O. Box 7664, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707. And if you'd like, send us a note and to our there. And if you'd like to get a sponsorship, we would so wholly need that. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, yes.
Colonel, before you go, I think I found out we can mention this too. You can also contribute to us or support us through Zelle at Portsmouth Coffee Talk at yahoo.com, or we have a Cash App account, which is the $sign PCT 1220. And we have a PayPal account as well. And I'll have to look that up and get you that as we go on through the program. But there are a lot of different ways you can support us. And there are some of the others as far as contacting our post office box as well. And we will be looking more aggressively for sponsorships as we try to improve and
expand.
And we did go out last year on promote and remote, I'm sorry, to MacArthur Mall to do a story. And hopefully we can do more of that, go through the people. You know, sometimes you have to learn as you go along with these things, especially with us.
Yes. We're not of that generation that was
yes,
in the technological field.
and all the things that are afforded us, in order to improve. But we guarantee you we will improve, and you will see more of us out and about. But we need your support in order to continue to do these things that we do. And we think we pat ourselves on the back. We've done a pretty good job on covering a lot of different issues and using this medium to the advantage of the people that we serve.
Yeah, I just got a message from Lisa Graham, and she must have been reading my mind. I was going to suggest that if you have something that you would like to share on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, to please contact us and let us know what it is you'd like to share. You can either contact through my Facebook page or James' Facebook page. Colonel, I don't know about you on the Tony, but anyway, but you can contact us, or you can contact us at our post office box and let us know.
Or the Yahoo address.
Our Yahoo address, yes. And because Lisa Graham just asked, how do we select the individuals who we interview on the show? And basically, Lisa, we try to look at what's taking place in the city and try to mirror that, whatever's taking place, and get those experts to come on to talk about the issues that we see taking place within the city. So Lisa, if you have something you want to share, Miss Lisa Graham, please let us know and we will get back with you.
And the Yahoo address is PortsmouthCoffeeTalk@yahoo.com.
PortsmouthCoffeeTalk@yahoo.com. So if you have an interesting story you'd like to share, please notify us so that we can get you on to one of the shows.
So as we segue, I think Leah, you was talking about the gun issues.
Yes.
It's interesting how the gun issues has blossomed, and I think, and I'll tie this into the abortion debate that happened in Texas. But you see in the state of California, they're getting a bill together, married after the same abortion debate, that you'll be able to sue the gun owner or whoever sold the guns across the nation. And I think that's going to be the next debate or the next frontier in blue states, because we have two Americas.
Well, that's what your Supreme Court set up, so that's what they're going to get.
That's it. And that's why I say we have two Americas. And so it won't happen here because we've turned our state government over to to those guys.
We have a new administration coming in come January 1st.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have to hang my head and
I know, Karen. I had to help you with that one, Colonel.
Yeah, I had to swallow before I went.
I know.
Yeah,
But,
we're going to follow that real closely, how that pans out, because it looks like he's wanting to come in there, hit the ground running, and do some things that they feel that is going to help. But a lot of us might see it a little different. So we're going to follow it. Hopefully we'll get a chance. And one of the things hopefully we can do is get a chance to bring people that of opposing opinions on here and talk to them. I can think of a few Republicans that I know in this area that I'd love to have on here. And I'm sure the Colonel would love to have on here to,
we'll have to put a muzzle on the Colonel if we do.
I think we're just going to have to let the Colonel go,
Yes.
because
Colonel come out like that pit bull, that pit bull has been locked up forever, so.
I know, Lord have mercy. I got to tell it like it is, though.
Yes, indeed, Colonel. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Not tell it like it
is. Shares our opinions or the way we feel. So we have to be fair and let people on there and give them a chance to explain themselves, and then we can cut them up.
Yes.
James, and maybe we should mention some of those individuals who come on every Monday with us, such as Pat Hines and Tracy Booth Avery, and I'm trying to look through my phone here. We have Zella Raspberry, Minta Richardson. You have some folks who are coming on yours as well.
Don't forget your Australian.
Oh, yes, Wayne Too Good. Wayne Too Good from Australia comes on practically every week when we are on. And I appreciate Wayne Too Good so much. He really supports us as far away as Australia. And my niece, Crystal Drake, she usually tunes in from Italy. So we have some international folks who are tuning in to hear the show here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. But we appreciate, and if I didn't call your name, we appreciate the fact that you come on and you allow us to share this time with you at such an early hour on a Monday morning. So we appreciate each and every one of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But you know what?
Listen, my niece in Italy is on just as we speak. Hi, Crystal. How are my babies doing? Take care of Ava and DJ and Mr. Jackson, Mr. Action Jackson. Love my family in Italy. Thank you, Crystal, for coming on.
You know, as Leah, as you thank the folks that are supporting the show, we've got to also give out our hopes and prayers to the folks affected by the tornado out there.
Oh, yes, yes.
Because I lived in that area when I was stationed at Fort Knox, and I used to recruit out of that area. And so we have to give our support and prayers out to those affected by that devastating tornado. And the right or the Republican Party might not want to say that it's part of our changing global climate. But it's interesting, as a politician, as I listen to their Senator Ron Paul, who has voted against every supplemental for disaster aid since he's been in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's out there begging for help.
Out there. And it's amazing how they can, on one side of their mouth, what's the Norfolk State song, talking out the side of your neck?
Yeah.
On one, they can dispel global warming, and then when something happens in their district, they're the first people on the ground looking for that money.
Exactly. Exactly.
And this is clearly showing you that it's unusual to have tornadoes this time of the year. There's certain areas like Tornado Alley and things like
yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
When tornado season is, so they can prepare and expect it, but no one expects a tornado this time of the year,
in December, 200 miles wide, 6 tornadoes coming down in 5 states. Never heard anything of this nature.
Never heard of that. Yes.
In meteorology, that's unnatural. The way what it takes to form a tornado is not something that happens during the winter months.
No, it's not.
It usually comes from thunderstorms or that kind of atmosphere or environment, up there. And I'm not an expert talking about it. This is just listening as, someone that listens to what the scientists say. This is an unnatural occurrence, for this time of the year. But like you said, they're looking for that money. But before we go on further, it looks like it's 6:58. And I want to thank all the listeners on WGPL 1350 AM on your dial for listening all year during our anniversary. And we want to thank you for consistently listening, and hopefully you have been getting something out of the information we've been sharing this past year, and will continue to listen as we will expand what we are doing and continue what we're doing. Thank you very much. Okay, we can.
Let me just mention one thing. My niece in Italy just wrote that she's taking her babies now to get their vaccinations. She said it is a must. We can't stress that enough.
Right.
Yes.
And like you said, she's in Italy, and this is a worldwide problem.
Exactly.
So, not something that's confined here to Portsmouth or the United States. I mean, people all over the world have to be, because that's how it's jumping from, not from one city to another, it's jumping from one country
To
or
another.
continent to another.
another.
So, so it's important that we all worldwide pay attention to this.
You know what, and that's part of the Biden administration push, because we've donated over 1 billion doses across the country, across the world, to get the world vaccinated, and we won't get to the other end until the world is vaccinated. But we've had 100 million doses spoiled and are unusable in these third world countries because they don't have the expertise,
right,
and the logistics capability to get their own people vaccinated. And they also suffer from the disinformation, which I would, in their own countries. And so that is a problem. It may take that our military get out there and go on these humanitarian kind of things and vaccinate the rest of the world. Saying that, if we don't get the world vaccinated, or we don't get vaccinated, those people that are in this country or that are unvaccinated are petri dishes. So then the virus will mutate within them, and we will get a virus from the unvaccinated here in this country or in the world that will set us back to where the vaccines that we are taking now won't work.
right, right.
And I go back with the adage that they would have achieved what they want, is to make us fail.
Yeah.
So get your vaccination and survive this, so we can come out the other end. So I agree with your out in Italy, the voice of Italy. Yes,
It's a must.
get vaccinated. It's a must.
It's a must.
Take the politics out of this issue and put the common sense into this issue, and the preservation of your families and the human race. You never know how bad this thing can get.
Exactly.
Anyway, what I want to ask you, co-hosts, rather than going by each video one by one, what are some we all learn from some of the things I know I've learned from some of the guests that we've had on over the past year, some of the issues we've covered. What are some of the more interesting, well, I don't want to say more interesting because all of our guests were special and interesting, but what are some of the things you learned, or some of the things that had an impact on you as far as some of the videos that, or some of the guests that we've had on past year?
I think I will start with some of the young people who are doing some interesting things out there, such as Michael Fletcher. We're still waiting to hear back from Michael Fletcher. He had such a great idea of something that he could bring back to the city to get the kids engaged in a learning environment, one in which they would use technology. I look at 5 Links, Mike Links, what he's doing as far as the video and TV and things of that nature. So I think it's so great to see all of the things that younger people are bringing to the table now and willing to share. I'm trying to think. I know we had Mike Link, we had Aja Moore, who's in government now, and she's shared with us what was taking place in the governor's office, and she's moved on to become a lobbyist, and which is unusual for someone at her age, at this stage of her life. So we've had some really interesting young people to come on to share what's going on in their world, so that others can be motivated to get involved in some of the arenas in which they're participating in.
Yeah, and you remember we had Stephanie Wardhall, who is a graphic artist.
The graphic artist. And and James,
artist.
I have 2 of her pictures in my office right now. That's Donnell Johnson, and Stephanie Johnson's granddaughter.
Yeah.
She did the piece for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that for my own purpose of having a medical background, I look back at different conversations with like Dr. Ernestine Duncan and some of the issues we have with behavioral health or mental health. We've had several discussions with her. with COVID, we had Dr. Frank Roberts.
Yes.
And I go back to, can't think of his name, the cardiologist who talked about men's health.
Dr. Newby.
Dr.
No,
Newby.
you're talking about the one that you're the only one that could pronounce his name. What was it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I saw him the other day on my regular bit, and I just had to call him doctor because I still can't get that name out because his name sounds like you talk.
Yes,
like
Yes.
You did it perfectly that day, so I guess you have to practice in. But and also had Brianna, who is a transplant coordinator in
right.
Heart Hospital. So that was interesting too. Of course, like I said, that's dear to my heart as far as getting that kind of information out. But you're right, Colonel. Yeah, the health, the people that we had on, especially the mental health piece, that was very.
And the thing is, it's been ongoing. It's an ongoing, and it's just like we talk about the crime. It's an ongoing problem. It's nothing that you can put a finger on the causation, and it's not going to stop overnight. But we still have to open up and talk about it. And the news media is not going to talk about it like we're going to talk about it.
Right.
I go back to looking at when we had the Commonwealth Attorney Stephanie Morales was out here and talked about what she was doing with marijuana and charging with those low crime and some of the first step programs what she is doing, those who have been incarcerated. Also look at what the sheriff was doing, and which is a complete 180 from his predecessor, who could care less about anybody other than enriching himself.
And and as you mentioned, the sheriff's department as well, Colonel. The sheriff department has the SROs in the schools now.
Yes.
Building those relationships between the students and law enforcement.
Yes. Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because one, that is a long-term strategy that will affect crime in the street. If you
Exactly.
get those kids when they're in their formative years, before they something happens and they turn, that we don't look at long-term, because everybody wants an instant, like instant coffee.
Yes.
And an instant solution. And we have to build those long-term programs. And you have to, I got to commend the sheriff and Michael Moore and what he's doing and putting his money and time where his mouth is at, looking at long term. And that is one of the problems we don't do in society as we speak.
And we have Darlene Sparks Washington, who came on to talk about the homeless. Once again, that's where the sheriff's department is involved. We are housing the homeless in the work center now. And some of the things that they're doing there now to helping to make a safer environment for individuals who are homeless. And we're all one paycheck away from being homeless. So we have to be concerned about those individuals as well.
Well, you know what? We have to be concerned about the least amongst us.
Exactly.
And some folks don't believe in that.
That's right.
But on the other words, they may say, hey, but I care more about that unborn fetus than I do care about once the fetus gets here.
Yeah.
Lord, did I say something wrong?
No, well, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Why we have to have and Colonel, one of the reasons I'm glad you're here. When going into the next year, we're going to make a concerted effort to have someone with the opposing views. Kind of discussion up here. So no, don't feel like you said anything wrong, especially.
No, but I don't think I said anything wrong, but I think that people can't hear the truth. And I try to tell it like it is. And when you look at the other side, or there's two sides of every issue. And I look at the abortion issue and say, you care more about that fetus before it is born, but once that fetus is here, you could care less. You could care less about the mother.
That's very true.
And then so there is nothing biblical about that.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa Johnson Mack, for your congratulations on our anniversary.
She's in Maryland. That's one of my
Maryland,
daughters. That's my granddaughter's roommate's mother.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Uh-huh.
Thank God for your family, you know.
Yes, they're on here. My sister's on here this morning praying for those in Kentucky, Cheryl Lundy. My family's on board this morning. Thank you, family. And thank you everyone who's coming on board to wish us a happy anniversary. This is our 1-year anniversary, which tomorrow will mark 1 year when James
exactly. 1 year exactly.
Invited me to become a part of the James and Colonel show. And it has been an interesting ride this past year, believe me.
Yes, it has been. And Leah, we appreciate you because Leah was one of my guests when I was doing it solo, and as well as the Colonel before they became co-hosts. They were my guests when I was doing it solo, and we covered some things. Leah, I think you came on with some history information about.
We came on talking about the history of IC Norcom High School.
Norcom High School, and Colonel came on. Had some interesting conversations about, you know, military and the opportunities for our young folks going into the military. And I remember one of his greatest things was, you don't want that debt.
How about that? That's for sure.
After getting your education, if you go through the military, you know, you can get that education and not come out without that debt on your back, riding your back. One of the things I really liked, I'm proud of what we did or what we do, is one thing, we're giving people a platform beyond just little sound bites of what they do. And I know it's a lot of other people out here with shows and doing certain things, and we're just one of the few, but I feel we're unique in our own way about how we have discussions with guests and give them an opportunity to talk about what they're doing. And I'm also proud about, and I see Rosetta Brown, who was one of our guests.
Yes.
As well as Paula Glover,
yes.
She was one of my guests on the earlier shows. But I'm proud about what we did over the past year, and we'll get back to it. Every show we were honoring. We're Portsmouth Coffee Talk, so a lot of people, we wanted to make sure that we were recognizing people that made contributions over the years here in the city of Portsmouth and beyond. And we always honor someone. We start out honoring 2 people, and then we did some students, and we'll get back to that because we want to make sure that our young people are recognized for what they're doing good, because most of the time when you see the network news, it's about a shooting, and you see those faces flashed up there. And for somebody that doesn't know, that might live under a rock or something, that's all they see. That's all they know. And so we make sure people are given the opportunity to know what our youth or our young people are doing that's contributing already to our society. So that's one of the things that got me, a lot of the things that got me. And I believe I learned a little something from each show that we had. You know, even though I tried to do some research, but the guest always had something to add that I could add to the knowledge part of my brain and keep it there.
Yeah, you know what? As we move forward into this next year, and as we talk, I'd like to hear back from some of these politicians that won their elections. They come on and start telling us what they're doing now and in the future before the next election, because normally these politicians come up, and especially for city council or the school board, and talk, and they want to get some airtime because they're running.
Right.
So tell us what you're doing in the interim period. And also, while I'm on the subject, those who lost the elections, it doesn't mean because you lost the election that you have to go hide under a rock. Come out and tell us what your opponent who won the election, how you would do something different, because I know you're going to run again. So just don't come out here 1 month or 2 months before the next election and with a new platform. Tell me what you're doing now. And so it is an opportunity for them to come back on our show and tell us what you're doing for society, why you're not running. Because just because you don't hold elective office doesn't mean you can't contribute to the city and to our region, in our society.
And
Colonel,
also,
go ahead.
James, go ahead, James, go ahead. James, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, Colonel, that's so important because, you know, I always talk about trying to tell our voter, our citizens, to make sure you watch what the politicians are doing throughout the year or throughout their 4-year term. And you will know in the run in those 3 months when it really kicks off and they tell you what they're going to do or what they've done, you already know if any of that is true because you've been watching. And I think us here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk can help in that way and doing exactly what you're saying, Colonel. Bring those people on, even the ones that didn't win, because so often when they don't win, they fade away. And then they come, if they're going to run again, they come back.
Exactly.
You ran and you lost, but you didn't care until you ran again.
Exactly.
So I always wonder why that was always the case, you know. So you ran and you were so passionate. How come we not still seeing you out here doing some of those things that you were trying to do when you were running? So it's not always the case for all the ones that run, because I've seen some that really lose and stay involved and stay connected, you know, and never run again. And that shows me that their passion wasn't misplaced on just running. They were passionate about what they were running for. So yeah, we can do that and bring those people on, especially the ones that are in office now, to sort of, so we can gauge and people can see what they're doing now, because a lot of things is going on now, especially in the city of Portsmouth with our city council that you know, need some explaining. You know, so we're going to have to get some of them on to talk about what they're doing, what they can talk about, which is just about anything that's not behind closed doors, that's not mandated by certain things they have to do. But to come out here and talk about the selection of the next city attorney, what's going on with that? You know.
Ooh, yes, that's controversial.
You
And
know,
so even then, if they don't want to come on and they seek to hide, and they're going to hide, and there are some that are going to try to hide until the last minute, until it's time for re-election, we will find you and we will expose you.
so let me say this, you know, if you have people like Lisa Graham,
Yes,
coming on and saying, I voted for some, but I wouldn't vote for them again because they're not doing anything. You really need to come on if you're doing something.
come on and tell the people what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hide. Don't hide.
Run again and try to add all those things together and everything looks good. But, you know, because some things, even if some things that you talked about doing in your platform that hadn't quite panned out yet, you know, you need to talk about that too, you know, and not just show the good things, all the ribbon cuttings you're doing, or being on Facebook saying I was here and I was there. You need to come and talk about the issues. You need to come on shows like this, especially this show, and talk about the issues. The voters just don't need to see you on Facebook cutting ribbons, and that's part. I know that's part of what you have to do as being a elected official in the city, but that's not everything that's going on. People need to know what's going on. You need to come up here and talk about our city finances. You need to come up here and let us know that you know what you're doing.
And how do you make the
As far
determination
as
as to
city government-
who will serve in these offices? You know, do we look for people who are qualified to serve, or do we look for friends, or do we look for acquaintances? How do we make that determination as to who will serve in the city of Portsmouth? Yeah, how do they do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What vetting process is in place?
Or if there is a vetting
Or
process.
if there's a vetting process, you know?
Mhm.
Or is it just a thing? Let me see how. And well, this is how it's been working over the years all the time. Let's see if I can get the 4-vote majority to do everything I
Exactly.
want to do. And me personally, I don't want to see 4 people voting the same way all the time. That
Exactly.
lets me know, that lets me wonder, where's the individuality? Because you're
Uh-huh.
not, you don't run as a team. So why you get on there and vote as a team for every issue? And that's always been a problem for me. And I understand the process. Some things you want to get done, you need that 4-vote majority to get it done if it's in the best interest of the total community. But when I start seeing every vote the same people, and this is not just a total knock on the present administration, because you still have time for them to, but this is what I'm seeing. But over the years, I've seen this over and over, where you get this 4-vote majority and you get 4 people voting the same way on every issue. And I don't understand how that happens unless it's something that's very important. Even the smallest minute issues, y'all voting together,
Mhm.
because all of a sudden you see
Because
the
I have the
power.
majority. Because I have the
I
majority.
think I have a majority. So this is my opportunity to do whatever I want, regardless of. And the last thing I'll say about that, and before the other hosts chime in, you know, you want people to come down to city council and be involved. And we come down there and 10 people say they don't want anything, and you still vote against it, or
Exactly.
you don't take it under consideration. So people see that. So it's a lot of things I can say about that that I've seen over the years. And I've been around on campaigns and on boards and commissions. So I kind of know how it works. But I've also seen that process not work to the advantage of the total public. I've seen some projects not go through that should go through because, you know, people want their way. So we're going to be challenging some of the local politicians to come on this show and talk to us. We kind of lowballed it last year because we wanted to get established, and we had some other issues we want to do, but we're going to fit it in, even if we have to add some other days to this broadcast,
Let
because
me
our commitment is to our followers. Go ahead.
Let me
Leah.
just,
I got it.
Lisa Graham is commenting constantly, and she says she's a business owner in Portsmouth, and other than my ribbon cutting ceremony, I rarely hear from any of them. And I'm a citizen that have a youth foundation that I fund myself, and my customers and friends support, and only a few helped during my BTS drive, but many didn't, and they didn't even reach back out to me when I asked for their presence. I'm doing an angel tree now, and it's for kids that need assistance, and no one has chimed in. Lisa, you're doing the angel tree. Could you send us some information as to how we can put it out there that you have your angel tree, how they can contact you, and how they can get involved to help with what you're doing? We are here, and if you'd like to tell us why you want to come on and share your information with us, you're truly more than welcome to get in touch with us and let us know.
And we also have a
Yes.
Facebook page. So, you know, we can't get all the guests up here all the time before something happens. But if you send us the information, we'll put it on our Facebook page and make sure we share that with other groups within in Facebook on the Coffee Talk Facebook page.
Right, right.
Graham, we appreciate you commenting. So these are the things we're talking about. And we want to hear from you all that are following or listening to us, so we can pass this information on, because so often these people go unheard.
Right, right.
Yes. Well, you know what, and she's echoing what a lot of people here feel, is that, you know, we're going into the season, the season of Christmas and giving and whatever. And then you look back and saying, you know, what is the city, and represented by the mayor and city council and whatever, what are they going to do? What are they doing to help those kids that are in need that won't have anything under the tree? What are they doing?
There are some things going on
Other than
with
chipping
some
at the
elected.
edges. But I'm talking about for policy wise. I want to see what the policies are to handle some of the crime, to handle some of talking about the jobs that should be coming this way. I want to hear about the last issue you look at, since we're getting close. What's happening with the casino and all the jobs that are supposed to come out from out of there. We talked about that in, during the election time, but after that, it was nothing.
Yes, Lisa, reach out to me. She said she has 4 more kids that she's seeking to get gifts for. So reach out to me, Lisa, and let me know what's taking place with you, so we can see if there's anything that we can do to assist you. We are about helping the community. We're about giving information to the community. And but we need you to be vigilant. As citizens of the city, you need to be vigilant and paying attention to what's going on, and don't let things happen and then react. It's important to act ahead of the event. So please stay vigilant and watch what's happening with your city. See what's taking place. Speak out on those things that you find that you have issues with, and the things that you support. Speak out on the things that you support. Your voice is your voice, and we're here to help you to share your voice. So that's the purpose of Portsmouth Coffee Talk. We are not here to attack, to do anything crazy, but we are here to support what's going on in the community.
Yes. Talk about the good, bad, and the ugly.
Exactly.
Just like the movie.
In more of a long form fashion, because I know sometimes we go over the time we expected, which we might do a little bit here today, but it's important for people to know our purpose and our mission and what we want to do and what we want to do going forward. And we mentioned earlier that we'll try to come to you as this one, and I'm working on this. We have a friend of mine has an aunt that's 100 years old. And I hope that we can at some point talk to some of these centennial, how you said the list is a centennial?
Yeah, centennial.
Centennials, yes.
Centennial, and 90 or 80 years old, because I think they have so much to offer. You have some of the people at that point that still can talk about what they have gone through. And I would want to know someone that's 100 years old that lived back during a time where things were very difficult for Black people, African Americans, and to live this long and still see things going on like they are today. How do they feel about that? It has to be amazing for someone that lived through a lot and to be at this point, and see things going backwards.
Yes.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get someone like that on here and just to talk about some of the things, experiences they had, because I always tell people, if you ever get an opportunity, sit down and talk to someone that's 80, 90, or even 70 years old, and the knowledge that they can, of their experiences that they can share with you is just amazing. Getting that firsthand. And of course, as far as our African history, that's the way we used to pass on our knowledge from the elders down. And, kind of gotten away from that because a lot of our young people don't know the history. And you can depend on that information coming from someone who's lived it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can go that route. So we're working on that. Hopefully, my friend told me that his aunt is kind of shy, but hopefully we can go to her and be in her environment so she'll feel more comfortable to talk. She says she's a talker, but she doesn't know about the camera thing, how that will work out. So hopefully we can get her and have her share some of her information. She grew up right here in Portsmouth. A lot of those people that are 100 came from North Carolina or something, but all her experience is right here in the city of Portsmouth.
Oh, wow.
We want to hear what she has to say and how it was back in the day during the Jim Crow days and all that she experienced herself. And he says her memory goes there. So
yeah.
Well, you know what? In what I call our agent or our senior citizens, they have a degree of institutional knowledge that I was telling a friend of mine the other day is, when some of these young folks call us old, I said, you got to get to where I'm at.
Amen.
And so especially when you get a centennial, somebody who has lived 100 years, they have experienced a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the right mind and got physical ability. We need to hear about it. Because they have stories to tell that the history books probably don't tell us about. Especially now that especially a part of our history that we're not allowed to discuss anymore. And that's another subject by itself.
It is indeed.
Yes.
With the way it's going, we're going to need that information coming from, and even us here, we can share a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Wait a minute. Lisa just said that our sound is out. What does that mean?
I don't.
Is she still listening to the radio and it's gone?
No, she's on Facebook Live. I don't know what
seem like it's, I'm hearing it now, it's cracking up.
James, you are pixelated for some reason. I don't know why.
His bandwidth is low.
Okay, my sister says that she can hear us. Cheryl says she can hear us. So it must have been something that was taking place as far as this technology is concerned. So thank you, Cheryl Lundy. She said
I just turned it up. I just turned it up and it was kind of breaking up. Maybe that was just a temporary thing.
Yes.
Hopefully,
yes.
It's technology, everything. But as you know, I'm really proud of what we've done in this past year, and can't thank the people enough that were listening to us and made the comments, and hopefully we can include the public more, just like we did today, trying to include the people that were responding. Sometimes we get so many people responding, it's kind of hard to keep up, especially when we have guests. But maybe every once in a while we'll have one of these type of shows where it's just us, we are the guest host and the guests, where we can actually respond to the listeners, and we'll spread that out every once in a while. We just have to talk to the hosts and with ideas and have people to express themselves through our platform right here.
Yes.
Actually, we can title that as our fireside chats.
Yeah.
Like we did Winston Churchill.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, it would be our fireside chat.
Yeah.
Yes, and as James
and we
said,
can always pick up.
What you say, James?
No, go ahead, Liv.
And once again, we truly want to thank everyone who has wished us a happy anniversary. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate you getting up and taking the time to listen to us on Monday mornings. And we also appreciate you sharing your ideas with us. So we want to say thank you. Thank you for letting us be around for 1 year. And we look forward to the next year and look forward to some interesting things taking place and information that we can share with each and every one of you.
Yes.
And I want to thank the ones, the people, listeners who have contributed to us financially. Don't want to give their names yet. I want to make sure it's all right with them to share their names, and maybe we'll share that on a link or on our page, Facebook page, if it's okay. But you know who you are. We want to thank you so much for the contributions you made to us, and hopefully people will continue to contribute so we can sort of improve our technology. At some point, we're going to have some intern from for one of our colleges or something to sort of help us with some of the things we want to do as far as making our platform a little more interesting with an intro and things like that. So we're going to have to go outside of what we know in order to do that. And so that's one of the reasons why your contributions to us is so important, so we can continue to do what we do and improve on it technology-wise, so we can reach as many people as we can with what we have to offer.
Yes, yes.
And I want to say I really appreciate you for being here every Monday morning. And even we've had times where one of our hosts was out of the country, well, not out of the country, but far away, and with a time difference where we started at 6 and he was up at 1 doing the show. I think we did that with you too, Leah. You were in Maryland at one time, because I remember
indeed.
You complained.
And we tried to get on when I went to Mexico, but we had a little difficulty, I think.
Yes.
No coffee in the house, and how could you do coffee talk with no coffee in the house?
No coffee in the house.
Yeah.
And I see now that my buddy down in Birmingham, Alabama, Angela Webb, is on. Angie, thank you for listening to Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And we appreciate all that you and Martin are doing down there in Birmingham to keep things straight in Birmingham. So thank you, Angela, for coming on board.
Yes.
Well, we're kind of winding down now. I think we appreciate people listening on this anniversary show. And I see Victor Brown tuned in, and we thank him for being our guest. He's a executive at IBM, and you can go back and see one of our 50-something videos on our YouTube channel. And please do that. And when you go, if you hadn't done it already, please like, subscribe, especially subscribe. And just check out any of our videos that we have there. I'm trying to put them in a category. So when you go there, if it's a certain area or subject you want to look it up, you can look it up that way. And they tell me I can put it in a playlist and sort of put it in a category where you don't have to just search through all. You can just put in a certain category or subject that crime or something like that, and that video will pop up where we talked about that. So working on that, but still need those college students to come in here and help us out. Now, maybe Victor is well versed in that. I'll have to get in touch with him as well.
Yes.
But you will see us getting better at it as we go along. But our main thing is having the guests on and dealing with those subjects that might be of a special interest to certain people or everybody as a whole. So we will continue to do that. We're pledged to continue to do that. But like I said, we're going to need your help. So please contribute. And I guarantee you, it goes right back into, it will go right back into our programming and our production as we do this on a voluntary basis. So we appreciate you.
Yes. And then so
any other comments from the
when you say contribute, so those who didn't listen to us while we're on the radio station, as we say we want to contribute, or you can contribute, it's at you can send it to Portsmouth Coffee Talk, P.O. Box 7664, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707. And every contribution is helping you and your community, because we are putting things out that you will not hear anywhere else. And so enough said.
Yep, thanks, Colonel. And like I said earlier as well, you can contribute on Zelle through our email, which is portsmouthcoffeetalk@yahoo.com, or Cash App, $PCT1220, and on PayPal. So we'll put the links to that information. That information is on our Facebook page. So if you really need to know exactly how you can contribute to those those ways, just go to our Facebook page and I can always show that. So we need your support, but we're going to be out there working for the people that follow us, or with an emphasis on the city of Portsmouth, but we go beyond the borders of the city of Portsmouth and deal with issues beyond that. But our focus is the city of Portsmouth.
Right.
And so.
Yes.
So we want to thank everybody for listening. And Leah, do you have any closing
I want to
remarks, or
say,
you want to say,
James and Colonel, I want to thank you all for inviting me to be a part of this team. As I stated before, it's been an interesting ride. I'm so thankful that we're able to share information with the citizens of Portsmouth and apparently throughout the nation now, because people are coming on from all over, learning about what's taking place here in the city of Portsmouth. So I thank you. I thank you both. And I look forward to the great things that we'll be able to contribute to the city over the upcoming year. We are entering into 2022. And so let's be prepared to share and to keep the citizens aware of what's going on in the city of Portsmouth. And we have a lot of young entrepreneurs out there. And I hope that we can get some of those young entrepreneurs out there. They're doing great things within the city of Portsmouth. And some of them, go unnoticed. So let's, hopefully we can get some of them on here for 2022 and they can share. I think we lost James, but they can share some of the things that they are doing in the community as well. He may get on before we go off completely. I think he's back.
Yeah,
but
back.
Once again, I want to thank you all and thank you all for the anniversary wishes. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And amazing, this is our anniversary. Yesterday, the 12th would have been my parents' 84th anniversary. So I'm wishing them heavenly blessings as they celebrate their anniversary. It would have been their 84th birthday on yesterday.
Yeah.
84th anniversary, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Anniversary, 84th anniversary.
Yeah, and my parents' month, I think on the 28th of December was their anniversary, and they almost made it to 50 years, but they 49 years together, during the month of December. And I'd like to say this also, that that we do have 2 more shows left in 2021. And one is going to be next week as we kind of concentrate on Christmas and the meaning of Christmas. Looks like I went off again. Am I still here? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it must be your internet. Your internet is acting up this morning.
Yeah, I'm seeing the pop off and pop on. But
Yeah.
Anyway, we have 2 more shows the rest of the year, and next Monday we'll be concentrating on Christmas and the holiday and the meaning of Christmas. And Leah, who will be our guest?
We are fortunate enough to have my brother, the Reverend Dr. Johnny Drake, to come on next week to talk about Christmas and the meaning of the season.
Great.
Yeah, that's a lot of times we get away from the real meaning of Christmas, the
Exactly.
commercial part. But Dr. Drake has been to Israel. He's been to the.
He's gone to Israel. We've gone to Israel 3 times, so.
He's pretty knowledgeable there, but that should be a very interesting conversation with Dr.
Yes.
Drake. Did I say Dr. Dre or Dr. Drake?
Drake.
Dr.
Not Dr. Dre.
And the last Monday we're working on, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm trying to get 1 or 2 of the state legislators on. It might be difficult because it's 2 days after Christmas before they go into their session. And so we can get an idea of what the Portsmouth elected officials have presented their wish list like they do every year. Their legislative package, what is officially called. And we want to try to address that before they go to session in January. Hopefully, if we can't get them on, we'll be able to discuss some of the things that's in that package for
Right,
Portsmouth.
right.
And we can kind of follow that and see how many of those things, and you can see how the state legislators are working for the city of Portsmouth and what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's about it with me. So again, thanks everyone for watching,
Yeah.
and thanks co-hosts for this past year, and thanks for all the things that you've done to make this program successful.
And happy anniversary. Salute. Colonel, we were thinking alike, Colonel. Salute.
I know. Salute.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary from Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you all for
Take care.
listening. Thank you for
And
tuning
have a
in.
good-
Okay.
Have a blessed day, and get ready for this new week ahead of us.
Yes. Yes.
Colonel,
Get
what is
ready
honeydew
for
list? Let's get it done, Colonel.
No, I got to hit it quick because I'm running behind. Already got a couple phone calls here.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
And get
Thank you
ready-
so very
get
much. We
ready for-
appreciate each of you.
Okay.
Portsmouth
Next year,
Coffee Talk, James.
We're gonna let the Colonel
James.
loose. Here on Coffee Talk, we are here to serve you with our voice.
Our future.
In our future. In our
Oh,
community.
our community and our future.
So, I got it, Jay. I got it. I back you up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
A
all.
year later.
God bless.
Like that.
What was that, James?
Year later, I said a year later, we're still trying to perfect that.
Exactly. Well, we've gotten it right every week except this week, apparently.
It's all right. It's all good.
That's all
Okay.
good.
God
All right,
bless.
take care.
Have a
everybody.
great day.
All right. See y'all
We'll
later.
see you next-
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.